Today, on Be Something Wonderful, Debunk Manifestation Myths, what really works. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, good morning and welcome back to the studios of Be Something Wonderful. I had a huge conversation with one of you, and during this conversation, while you were trying to understand why you haven't manifested what you want, why that life that you want is not unfolding, a few questions came up about these manifesting myths. This is really what I want to bust today, right? That the first one was a big one, and that's what this is really centered around. And then there are two other myths. I'm going to talk about three manifesting myths that when you debunk these, then you're free to live that life that you want to live. You're free to manifest these things. Remember, what really is manifesting and creating your own reality? You create, manifest, and experience. I've said this many times. Who and what you're conscious and aware of being. That definition of who you are in the relationship to your world. That's what we're talking about. Let's hit the first myth here. I just want to say this idea that the universe or God or some outside force is testing you is a myth. There's nobody and nothing is testing you. Not the universe, not God, not the law, right? The law of being, the law of assumption. You are all that is. You are all of it. It's not about you testing the universe or God or the law either, right? So this idea that, okay, I've got to test it. I've got to test to see if it works. It's not about you testing it either, right? So what's it about then? It's about trusting, not testing anything. It's about trusting that I am the one and only creator, source, supply, and substance of my entire life experience, and there is no other, no matter what. That's what it's about. It's not testing, it's trusting, right? So remember, that's the real definition of detachment. Trusting yourself as the source, as the substance, as the supply of everything that you want to create and experience in your life. That's true detachment. Because if you're source, you're supply, and you're the substance, you don't have to hold on to anything, right? You don't have to seek and want for and long for anything. You're a supply of it. You put your attention on it. You intend it as part of your experience. And that's what it must be. It's absolute trust. It's not about testing anything. Nobody is testing you. This is the first thing I want to talk about. Remember, you are the center of that one divine mind, of the great I am. The universe is within you. The 3D world experience is within you. There's nothing outside of you. There's nothing testing you. It's about trusting yourself, trusting that conviction that I am that I am. I am who and what I imagine myself to be. I am who and what I assume myself to be. That's absolute faith. That's absolute conviction. That's the faith of a mustard seed that Scripture talks about. It's not a little bit of faith. It's absolute, complete faith, absolute faith, unconditional faith and conviction that I am that person I desire to be, that I am, period. That just I am. I am and there is no other. Think about this. You are that subject. You're the center of all of it. Conviction can't be shaken, right? That Neville Goddard points to that in his teachings, right? Conviction can't be shaken. Confidence can be shaken. If you're looking out there at changing conditions, you can be shaken. If you're looking at the changing thoughts and feelings, you can be shaken. But that conviction that I am is absolute. It's about trust. It's not about a test, right? It's about trusting yourself as a unique essence and expression and center of all that is. A personalized, individualized expression of the great I am. That's you, that unique expression of your utter and absolute fulfillment of all that you are, I am. It's an expression of fulfillment. It's not seeking to be fulfilled. Your desires, that desire that you have, is a divine urge to know yourself as that one source, that one supply, that one substance, as that one and only divine mind, that one and only great I am. To know yourself as the center of all of that. It's about trusting yourself as that unique expression of source or God, creating, manifesting, and expressing yourself from infinite, limitless perspectives, viewpoints, and vantage points. That's what that's about. You're not being tested by anything or anybody. That's just something made up, right? To somehow so we can understand why these circumstances are that you believe are happening to you. Remember, everything's happening through you and as you. Your source, you get to determine what it means to you. This is powerful. All those appearances and experiences of trials and tribulations are not about lessons to be learned. We also discussed that. You're not here to learn lessons, but rather they're reminders of that divine power within you to invoke and summon it as I am awareness. That's all they are. You get to determine what all of those experiences mean. You're not here to learn. You're here to invoke that creative power. You're here to create as source, to know yourself as source. Right? We create an experience of learning, of evolving, of growing. But you're full spirit. You are the center of all that is. You're already fully evolved, but you create that experience. Right? So to trust, it's not to test, that I am, and the Father are one. And the Father is greater than I am. As a unique personality and physically focused center of that one divine mind, that great I am. That's what you're here to know. Think of this, that I am the Father are one, and the Father is greater than I am as a unique personality or physically focused center of that one divine mind. The Father is greater than any one perspective or viewpoint or vantage point that I have. But you're one with it. It's not a test. It's about trusting that you are the center, trusting that you are one with source, one with supply, one with that substance. And that you have a unique essence or focus or individualized personality or perspective of that one source, of that one God, of that one great I am. No matter how much you're tempted to believe and perceive that you are separate or limited or alone. That's the whole idea of what temptation means, right? We're tempted to believe that we're separate, we're limited, that we're being tested, right? And that's the whole definition of sin, right? To miss the mark, to not identify as that ideal that you are, that center of source, that center of the divine mind. But no matter how much you're tempted to believe and perceive it, it doesn't change who you are. You are God and there is no other. You are the center of all there is no other. So let's talk about this. No matter how many times you're tempted to believe that you are limited, separate, unworthy, and unfulfilled, and no matter how many times you cave into that temptation, right, by looking out and perceiving circumstances and conditions as limited, right, as negative, as not what you want. No matter how many times you sin or miss the mark, remember what the metaphysical meaning of sin is. It's to miss the mark. It's to not identify as that higher ideal that you are. To not identify, to not see yourself and others as you would like them to be versus how they appear to be or how you appear to be. You're continually forgiven and you're new in this moment. No matter how many times you're tempted and you cave into that temptation to believe that you're unworthy or unfulfilled. That was the whole message of Scripture in the ancients, right? No matter how many times you're forgiven, no matter how many times you miss the mark and believe that those conditions are who you are, that those changing thoughts and feelings are who you are, you're continually forgiven and you're new in every moment. That's why Jesus said, but who do you say that I am? as he asked his disciples. Right? They went off on a tangent. They started naming all sorts of prophets and people, dead and alive. Right? But Jesus pressed them, because no matter how many times you identify with those conditions and circumstances, or how many times you believe you're being tested, you're continually forgiven. Which brings us to myth 2. The whole idea that there's some divine timing. As I had a conversation with one of you, you're thinking, well, it's okay, maybe it's divine timing. Remember, God knows nothing of time. There's only absolute fulfillment here and now. God knows nothing of non-fulfillment, of things taking time. Nothing takes time. Nothing happens with time. It happens with awareness, with your awareness of being. Here I am, as Moses answered God. Moses, Moses, here I am. That's the whole message. Here I am as fulfillment here and now. It's not divine timing, right? That's just something people say, right, to make themselves feel better, while they wait for their wishes to be fulfilled out there in time and space, right? Stop trying to make yourself feel better by saying it's divine timing. That just keeps you waiting for something. Remember, waiting is a state of being. Waiting is creating a reality of waiting for things, of things being in the future which doesn't exist. So you create a state of waiting. You can't get or manifest or receive what you're waiting for because you're waiting for it. Just like you can't find that which is lost because it's lost. You've got to know it's all within you. Right? And you feel like you're being tested with the divine timing, right? Like the universe is testing you, right? To see if they can keep the faith and hope while they're being tested by the circumstances. Right? It's divine timing. I'm going to try to keep the faith and hope while you're being tested by those circumstances. Right? It's none of that, right? Time is an idea. Nothing comes with time, it comes with awareness of already being that which you desire to be and already having that which you want to have. It's that awareness that if you desire something, if you want something, if you think of something, if you imagine something, if you can dream or hope of anything, that means it must exist already within you, or you couldn't imagine it, you couldn't think of it, you couldn't desire it. There's only existence, there's only fulfillment, there's only I am. There's one I am, and you're it. Waiting is a state of being. You create a reality, an experience of waiting but never being, of waiting but never having, something to happen out there in the future. You can't experience or receive what you're waiting for because you're waiting for it. Right? Stop trying to feel better about being unfulfilled and be fulfillment. Stop trying to feel better and go, well, it's, I'm being tested. I'm going to pass the test, or it's divine timing, right? Be fulfilled now. You don't have to feel better about it because non-fulfillment is not a reality. It's an unreality, right? I am all that is. I am that which I desire to be no matter what. That's reality. Everything is the experience of that absolute fulfillment, that absolute worthiness unfolding perfectly from within you. You could not even have the experience of feeling unworthy or feeling unfulfilled, or even the idea of what we call negative feelings or negative sensations or negative emotion, unless you were unless you were absolutely worthy, absolutely fulfilled, absolute joy and gratitude and bliss. You couldn't feel it. You couldn't have that experience. Everything comes from that one source, that one energy of absolute fulfillment, absolute joy, the peace that passes all understanding, right? That beyond the 3D physical experiences of gratitude and joy, the emotions are so elevated, they're a state of being. That's who you are. So that brings us to the myth 3, right? Where this particular creator wanted to go, well, someone told me that maybe there's something better. The reason I'm not manifesting, this was with a specific person, that there's someone better. There's no one determining something better. I know a lot of the early spiritual teachers, like Florence Scovel Shinn and others, that's what they believed from their physically focused perspective. That there's some greater power determining that's something better for you. You're the one that determines it. The idea that the universe or God will give you something better or manifest what you want or something better is just made up. It's something to make you feel better about not having what you want. Stop negotiating non-fulfillment and be fulfilled. It's not about what you want or something better. It's not better or worse. It's not big or small. It's not easier or harder. Remember, you don't manifest what you want or something better. You manifest, create, experience who and what you're conscious of being, period. You create your own reality. There's no other rule. There's no other law. There's no other power. So yeah, you don't always manifest what you want because you manifest who and what you're conscious of being. Right? And when you align with that, it's not better or worse or big or small or easier or harder. Those are all myths. There's nothing easier or bigger or smaller or easier or harder. It's all one. You are it. You manifest, create, and experience who and what you're aware and conscious of being and having. That's the only rule. You create your own reality. There is no other rule. This is Seth through Jane Roberts, that non-physical in the 1970s. I love that. You create your own reality. There's no other rule. In other words, you create and manifest and experience who and what you're conscious of being and aware of being. What's in your awareness as source, as substance, as supply, as that I am awareness. That's your entire life experience. It's not about the universe testing you. It's not about you testing the law. It's not about divine timing. It's not about God or the universe has something for you or something better. You can absolutely have what you want when you are that person for whom and through whom that reality is real. That you are that it's natural to your I am awareness. Ask in my Father's name, right? What's the Father's name? I am. I am that person I desire to be. And everything else will be added to you. Seek the kingdom. Seek that knowing, right? That's debunking manifesting myths. That's what really works. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for liking and sharing and commenting on the videos. Thank you for being part of our Facebook group, The Ambassadors, at facebook.com/groups/Be Something Wonderful. For joining us on Instagram and Twitter, Tom Kearin, TikTok at Be Something Wonderful, anywhere on social media at Tom Kearin at Be Something Wonderful, and for being part of our membership channel in just a few hours from now, less than 3 hours from now at 12 noon, here Pacific time in the US, we're going to come to you live on the Be Something Wonderful membership channel. I'm going to be answering your questions right on the live stream as we chat, and the questions that you've been sending to us and the topics to info@besomethingwonderful.com. If you're a member, join us. If you're not a member, we'd still love to have you. Check out the link below. Creators, I'm looking forward to it. And don't forget, tomorrow we're off. We're off to Park City, Utah to do some snowboarding, and I'm going to come to you live from there with more videos, right? More content and answering your questions. We're not going to stop here. So, creators, with great love, with great light and infinite gratitude, this is Tom Kearin here in the studios of Be Something Wonderful. Until next time, we'll see you soon.